What's up, fellas? Wake up. Get your minds right with Wake Up Mintzy. Presented by the fine folks of Dude Wipes. It's Friday morning. Very rare Friday show, but you know why? It's a special day. I'm in a great mood. Thanks to shout out to Stefan and our producer Tyler Moody holding it down behind the scenes. A lot to be happy about because it's the most underrated sports weekend of the year. One of my favorite days in sports today as a college baseball fan. The NCAA tournament starting today in 3 hours. 32 college baseball games. You can bet them all on the DraftKings Sportsbook. I mean, everybody loves March Madness first 2 days, but that's 16 games each. There's 32 today. It's epic. Can't wait to get that started. And we've got a fun Wake Up Mintzy today on this Friday. We're going to go ahead and jump into it. We're joined by Billy Football, my old roommate in Hoboken. I obviously miss being around him. Billy, what's up? How are you this morning?
How are you doing? Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you, bud. Thank you.
Got any plans?
Yeah. So on that note, we'll jump right into some Barstool stuff. Tonight, Pup Punk playing at Joe's on Weed in Chicago. Dante opening, DJing at 8. Pup Punk after. We'll be at that show. Most of the Barstool office is going. It's almost sold out. So Stoolies, if you want to get tickets, grab them online. Going to be a hell of a time. It's going to be my first time to see Pup Punk. They've got a little bit of a, they got a tour this year. This is their one Chicago show tonight. So going to be doing that tonight. And then tomorrow, Megan Making Money and I hosting a crawfish bowl at the Barstool Bar from 2 to 5 p.m. at Stool River North, $65, all you can eat crawfish. So yeah, big weekend planned. And then Billy, I mentioned it in the opening. I know obviously you followed lacrosse real close. I'm a big college baseball guy. The NCAA tournament starts today. 32 college baseball games. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet. You can fire them on DraftKings, so I'm in a hell of a mood today. How are you?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, NCAA lacrosse tournament was dope. Notre Dame just swept. I mean, they're just such a powerhouse this year. Those Kavanaugh brothers, they were our roommate in Hoboken, one of the Kavanaugh brothers. I don't know if you follow lacrosse. Matt Kavanaugh, who is the older brother of the two Kavanaugh brothers on this championship team, lived right around the corner from us in Hoboken. And one time I was pretty banged up coming back from the bars, and I just wanted to I was like, holy shit, Matt Kavanaugh? And he was like, really? It was just hilarious to see each other in a moment. And we'll have them on Audio Crack soon, all three brothers. But hell of a time.
Hell yeah. So I actually just got a text from Stefan. Pup Punk is actually sold out, so I'm sorry about that, Stoolies. But going to be a hell of a time tonight at Joe's on Weed with Pup Punk. Can't wait for that show. And, yeah, man, just in a good mood today. Loving the Chicago summer, as we head towards summertime vibes. How are things going for you in New York?
Dope. Lot going on. It's starting to get that heat where you got to get out of the city, but, there could be bigger problems. Started a new podcast recently, Audio Crack. I've been cracking on that. We put out, I think we've started almost a little under a month ago. We already got 11 episodes out, all sorts of crazy stuff. So it's been a pretty wild month.
So go ahead.
I dropped like 15 pounds this month.
Really? So
yeah.
I heard you. Yeah, Billy and I were texting this morning. You were already up pumping iron.
Yeah.
You're on that. What are you doing on the health grind?
No, so I ran a half marathon. My body went into shock because I didn't train for it, and I just dropped 15 pounds. And I've slightly recovered strength gains, but it was a huge cut. So if you're trying to lose a ton of weight in a really short amount of time, go run a half marathon as hard as you can when you're not training. Make your body think that you're about to die, and then you'll just shed weight.
No, I could actually talk about the half marathon thing because I did the St. Jude in Memphis in December, but you actually ran it in an hour and 45 minutes?
Yeah, you got to push yourself.
Yeah, I pushed myself to the limit and ran 2:21.
Oh, hell yeah.
But man, I did it. I never stopped. I don't know. How was your experience with the half marathon? Because mine was, I'm used to running 10Ks, so I ran the first over 6 miles in 60 minutes and was fine. And then miles 7 or 8, I had to back it up to 11, 12 minutes and just kind of slowly jog the rest of the way because my body was shutting down.
Well, dude, I woke up and I was like, fuck, I got to do this. And then I got to the starting line and I got really claustrophobic because there was a bunch of people all around me. And I was like, oh shit, I hate crowds. Oh, everyone's bumping into me. So then I started to get this adrenaline rush. And then I put my earplugs in and I was listening to Big Booty Mix, which is just like a sick DJ mix. Shout out to friends. And then I just sprinted out the gate because I was tweaking because there was too many people around me. And I just was trying to stay away from the people. And then just kept running. And then I sort of by mile 7, that adrenaline wore off, and then I was like, oh shit, like let's just keep pushing it. And we just went balls to the wall, came through. I did the 13. Like once I hit 13 miles, I was like, fuck it, I'm sprinting. And I sprinted the last like 0.2 miles. I probably started sprinting earlier and then just gassed out. That's just how you run a half marathon.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm impressed that like it's that mile 7 through 9 is the hardest part, because I feel like the first 3 miles you're just getting started and warmed up, and then then the run kind of starts miles 3 to 7, but then it was that last part.
7 to 9, I think I blacked out. Or no, 9 to 11, I blacked out.
Well, an hour and 45, no training is ridiculous. So you're down 15 pounds. Let's talk a little bit about Audio Crack. You've already done 11 episodes. I see the social media growth is great. What have you been getting into in it?
Dude, it's with the circumstances I was given, I'm a one-man podcast, so I need to get a lot of guests. Shout out Wonton Don for being one of the first guests. Shout out Dirty Water Don, Dante, and Jack Mack for being Barstool guys. Dana Beers has hopped on. It's mostly just having a good time shooting the shit, but sometimes we have great expert guests. So we recently had a guest on the Malaysian flight MH370 that disappeared, and he showed some pretty convincing evidence that it was abducted by UFOs. Shout out Ashton Forbes, that's episode 6. And then we recently had a crime scene reconstruction expert who testifies to do with a lot of ballistics in courtrooms. So he's someone that the defense or the government will put on the stand in regards to video footage evidence of police shootings, murder cases, someone who can break down footage and break down crime scenes to show the exact angles and specifics that can put someone in jail or keep them out of jail. And he applied this knowledge to, if you remember the story from Las Vegas, when a UFO was seen in a police officer body cam, the UFO then crashed, and then the cops got a call about like 10 minutes later that there was large, tall beings in the backyard of this random family's house. And he broke down a lot of the footage from that and showed that, holy shit, there's giant walking aliens in this person's backyard. This is absolutely real footage. This isn't doctored. Like, we need to look into this. So he broke it down on the last episode, and it was really wild. I mean, this has been some pretty mind-blowing stuff. And the thing is, they back it up. They back it up. I wouldn't bring them on if I wasn't convinced.
Well, it sounds like Audio Crack is cleaning up a lot of messes. Let me tell you who else is going to clean them up a lot of messes. And that's Dude Wipes.
Hell yeah.
You'll never need dry, scratchy, crappy toilet paper. Again, one use of Dude Wipes will literally change your life. You'll wonder what the hell you've been doing using toilet paper your entire life. You can find them at Amazon, Walmart, Target, and all over the World Wide Web. There recently was a Forbes article about Dude Wipes' revolution taking over the industry. They even sponsored the horse that won the Preakness. Dude Wipes has taken over. We're happy to have them as a presenting sponsor of Wake Up Mintzy. And also shout out to the only way to wake up in the morning, and that's with Stella Blue Coffee. It's summertime. Stella Blue Cold Brew now out. Big Cat had a big 2 golden mug giveaway this week that was really popular. But man, the cold brew is amazing. Nothing like iced coffee in the hot summertime. So check out Stella Blue Cold Brew. You will not be disappointed. It's an amazing product. And support Barstool Big Cat. So Audio Crack going well. You're working out a lot. You're running. What you got planned for the summer?
This summer, I might go on a huge road trip.
Ooh, I remember you were talking about that before, because I remember we mentioned something about maybe linking up in Vegas.
Yeah, I might be going to Vegas. I might drive to Vegas and make some stops on the way. I'm trying to set up some interviews and do some video content. Audio Crack is hitting the road. I'm going to hit a dog track in West Virginia. Because have you ever been to a dog racing track?
Yes, I have. I played poker at some of them in Florida. The West Palm Beach Kennel Club, and then Jacksonville. I used to play at one too.
There's one in West Virginia, which might be this first stop on the tour, but that's just something that, I've never had too much experience with. I think it's definitely a dying sport. Less and less are going away. So just kind of want to, before the knowledge is gone, before the scene is gone, I kind of just want to record what's going on. How do you defend dog racing? And, what are some of why is it becoming extinct? What's happening to these dogs? Is it really a blood sport? Are are there still purists out there that think that dog racing can still be a thing? Because, I mean, greyhounds love to run. You can't deny that. But is there a path forward for dog racing that's more humane?
Okay, so obviously everyone knows you've got an awesome dog and you're a dog lover. What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, the thing is, dogs, like a lot of dogs just love doing what they were bred to do. So greyhounds were bred to run. I think the inhumane parts of dog racing, like how some of the dogs are treated, how some of the dogs are shot up with steroids, how some of the dogs, are almost beat to run faster. That's terrible. But the thing is, you see even some of these retired racing dogs in the park, and they just love running. So if there is a way we could make it humane, as horse racing, like racehorses are treated like so well, right? Especially at high levels. If there is a way that we can ensure the dogs are be treating well, then I think there's a path forward for the sport. But that's what I'm going to determine. Like, is this really bad?
I'm curious because it certainly is headed the wrong direction. So I'm looking forward to your investigation. So you're going to start out at a dog track in West Virginia. You mentioned Vegas. What else do you have in mind here on this trip?
I haven't really started planning the rest of the trip, but we might just hit some random spots. I might go back to Amarillo and try the big Texan steak again.
Did you eat the whole thing? Isn't it like 72 ounces?
I ate 50 ounces. I ate 50 ounces last time.
And you just ate the meat. Did they make you eat potatoes too?
Yeah, there's a lot of sides.
That's the problem with it, because you can and I know you're a meat eater and you do the low carb thing. You can really pound the low carb stuff and eat a lot, but they get you on the bread and the potatoes.
I think if I hit all 72 ounces this time, I'd be pretty hyped.
Hell yeah. Okay, well, can't wait to follow Billy's road trip. And is there any shot you show up in Vegas? I'll be out there. I'm making my summer plans. I'm around here pretty much for the full next month. The only thing I might be leaving is the Omaha opening weekend for College World Series, which would be a fun spot for you to show. That's another one that would be a fun spot for you to show up at.
Oh, hell yeah.
Possibly June 14th to 16th. I'm going Father's Day weekend for the opening weekend. And then I'm going out to Vegas on June 30th for the World Series of Poker. And then I'm playing the main event on July 6th. And I'm playing a few warm-up events. So those are my kind of two big trips this summer, with Omaha and then the Vegas. So
hell yeah.
But man, the Chicago summer thing is a real thing. I mean, the weather right now is so perfect, and you kind of move up here wanting to enjoy the summer. So I'm going to make a concerted effort to dial back the travel a little bit, just enjoy being here.
You jump in the lake yet?
No, have not.
That was one cool thing about Chicago, is that when I was there, it's just like you can run, like when you're exercising, you can just run to the lake and jump in it.
I'm going to start doing the outside runs again now that the weather's good. I've been running treadmill, and with the weather being good, you got to get outside and enjoy it. And,
oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing, Mintzy?
What's up? I'm doing well, man. I had a crazy ass week last week. Really kind of burned the candle at both ends, probably a little too much. Like in 1 week, I flew to New Orleans Monday to get my car, drove to Birmingham, Alabama, did SEC Tourney for a couple of days, had to come back to the office for like 4 hours Thursday, went back south for the SEC Tourney, ended up running through Tupelo, to see some people there, and then I did Memphis Widespread Panic last weekend, and then went to Little Rock, hung out with a buddy, left my car there and flew back, and I was pretty wiped out all week after that, because that was a lot in 7 days. So this week, kind of enjoying chilling here, being in the office, getting to work here, and just excited. Like I said, Pop Punk tonight, Crawfish Bowl tomorrow, and then Billy, I can't say enough about it. I mean, the college baseball tourney, this is like my favorite, literally.
Who are your picks?
Got a few. So also want to mention, shout out, I've mentioned this all week, and I want to reiterate this to the Stoolies if you don't know much about college baseball. ESPN has something called Squeeze Play that they only do during the NCAA tourney in baseball, and it's the NFL red zone for college baseball. It's what it is. And so during the tourney, when you have 32 games today, I mean, it is freaking insane. They're just flipping around all the games, showing all the highlights like Red Zone does, and it's just unbelievable, like all the action with the metal bats and how wild these games get. So I'm going to jump into some picks here. Futures-wise, I've got a few long shots I like. NC State's my favorite one at 35-1. They're the number 10 seed. They won 6 series against top 10 teams. They're hosting the regional in Raleigh, South Carolina, the number 2. James Madison, the number 3. Bryant, the number 4. NC State's got 3 good starting pitchers, a bunch of bullpen young guys that throw 95 to 98, 3 really elite hitters. They made the Final Four of the College World Series in 2021 and got totally screwed over the COVID thing, and they're back trying to get revenge. The ACC is really good this year too, so I think they can win that regional, and they're matched up with Georgia, and the Super Regional I think is beatable. So they're one of my long shots. I might take Dallas Baptist. I think they're like 50-1 right now. I was hoping for better odds. They're the 2 seed in the Arizona Regional. You wouldn't think Dallas Baptist is much of a big school, so they really just have a baseball program, but they won the Conference USA Tourney. They got a super good program. I'm looking more, Billy, when it comes to baseball, and you know this as a pro baseball fan, you can't take these 5-6-1 favorites to win a 64-team tourney when you can lose 2 games and be out. There's no value. So I'm looking at long shots that have favorable draws. I was kind of glancing at Vanderbilt 40-1 because they looked a lot better in the SEC tourney, and they got a lot of good arms. And they're in the Clemson Regional, and I think Clemson's a little vulnerable. So those were kind of the long shot futures were the 3 I was looking at, were the NC State 35-1, Vandy 40-1, Dallas Baptist 50-1. But really, when you do that, I'm hoping to get 1 or 2 of those teams into Omaha, into the Final 8, and then have like a really good long shot ticket or 2 is kind of the strategy with it. As far as favorites go, Texas A&M and Tennessee are the 2 favorites. Tennessee's the 1 seed, SEC champs and SEC tournament champs. They're 50-11. I mean, they're the best team, but it's just you're talking 5-1 to win the tournament. I mean, there's no value there. A&M's like 6-1, and then a lot of the other top SEC teams like Kentucky's a 2 seed, they're 10-1. LSU's like around 10-1. And LSU won the title last year, had like a really up and down year. They actually started 3-12 in the SEC, but they won 10 of their last 15 SEC games, and then they made a huge run in the SEC tourney, falling in the SEC championship 4-3 to Tennessee. That's a fascinating regional. They're in North Carolina, who's the number 4 overall seed and won the ACC championship. So that's a huge collision course probably tomorrow, that LSU-North Carolina battle. Going to be something. But the other regionals I'm keeping a really close eye on. College Station, Texas. A&M's the number 3 overall seed. They do this in baseball, Billy, and I don't know if lacrosse is like this too. They kind of keep the regionals actually regional geographically for fans. So they put Texas and Texas A&M's regional.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so it's A&M 1, UL Lafayette, who's the number 1 team in the Sun Belt 2, Texas 3. I mean, that's just a super loaded regional. So I'm really looking forward to watching that one. SEC dominates college baseball. They're 5 of the top 8 national seeds. 11 of the 14 SEC teams got into the NCAA tournament this year, but also, can't sleep on the ACC. Literally 5 of the top seeds are SEC. The other 3 are ACC. ACC's loaded too. Keep an eye on Duke, who's a really good 2 seed who should have been a 1. I think they've got a shot to make Omaha. They're in the Oklahoma regional. Virginia's hosting in Charlottesville. They got Mississippi State. That should be very interesting to follow that. And all the other ones in the ACC, Florida State's the 8 seed, Clemson the 6, North Carolina the 4. So, yeah, and Wake Forest also lost in the Final Four last year. They're the 2 seed in the East Carolina regional, and they're really good too. But it's, the college baseball thing. We did I released yesterday, we recorded a 70-minute college NCAA tourney breakdown with the guys from 11.7, which is the number 1 college baseball podcast in the world. And it was everything you could ever want to know about college baseball in 70 minutes. We went over all the gambling odds, went through all 16 regionals. We just crammed so much knowledge into a short period of time. So if you're, don't really know anything about college baseball and you're like, hey, I kind of want to glance at this tournament, you can listen to what we, if you've got an hour to listen to that, you're going to be ready for it. I mean, we broke down every angle of it.
Ben, just hit me right now your 5 favorites that you would bet futures on, because I might be betting futures.
Okay, well, I told you, like I said, the NC State 35-1, Vandy 40-1, Dallas Baptist 50-1. You can get all those on DraftKings. Those are my 3 that I gave out. Because, like I said, I just don't like taking any of the super favorites. So I'm going to go with those 3. If you want to get real crazy with it, I don't know if they could win it or anything, but UNC Wilmington's the 2 seed in the Georgia regional. They're 200-1. I think they could win that regional. I don't know if they can win a super and get past that, but 200-1's worth maybe $5 or $10 on a flyer. That's kind of my super super long shot. I'm a big fan of UL Lafayette, but I just think their draw is too tough, man. They really got screwed getting sent to College Station and having University of Texas in that one. But they were somebody I was looking at until I actually saw the draws. Duke 20. I wish Duke had a little better odds. They're 20-1, but I think they've got a really, really good shot to make Omaha too. They're the 2 seed. I just wish they were like 30 or 40-1, but that's another one I'm looking at.
I'm going Duke, NC State, Vanderbilt, Louisiana Lafayette,
and Dallas Baptist.
And Dallas Baptist. Okay.
I know. Yeah. I mean, did you even know Dallas Baptist was a school till you got on here?
I knew it was a school. I didn't know they had any teams.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because like Texas has such good baseball, and SMU actually doesn't have a baseball program. They're like all in on soccer at SMU, which is kind of a random thing. And I think Dallas Baptist has taken advantage of that and just gone all in and built a hell of a baseball program. And like last year, Oral Roberts, another Christian small school from I believe Oral Roberts, from Tulsa. They made Omaha. They made the College World Series and won 2 games there last year. So I mean, the thing with baseball, that's part of what makes it so good. I mean, Coastal Carolina won the NCAA tournament out of the Big South in 2014. Fresno State was a 4 seed and won it all in 2008. I mean, anything can happen in the college baseball tournament because literally if you lose 2 games, you're out. And, I remember 2 years ago, Tennessee, we've had a couple. Arkansas 3 years ago when I gave Dave, told him to take them, and they're the number 1 overall seed. They got knocked out in the Super Regional. Tennessee 2 years ago had the best team I think I've ever seen, and they didn't even make Omaha. And they made Omaha the other 2 years, the last 3 years, with teams that weren't near as good. It's just there's a lot of randomness in baseball. I mean, my favorite college baseball memory ever, Ole Miss 2022, got the last bid in the tournament, Billy. They were 14-16 in the SEC, got the 64th bid, and then just won the whole damn thing. So, that's part of what makes it so great. Is there's a lot of variance. And so when it comes to betting college baseball, I think strategy-wise, I actually look for underdogs a lot because I think with the metal bats, the underdog value is kind of always there. And I think the biggest mistake you can make betting these games is taking the -200, -300, -400 favorites because it's just so hard to predict. And then I've got some games for today I can run through. I got a few picks for today too. Actually, I'll wait. I can give those out in a minute. But
Perfect.
Yeah, but I'm super on it. Check out DraftKings. College baseball gambling has come such a long way, too. I remember a few years ago, we were getting this going. You occasionally find lines on the NCAA tourney, maybe. Now you've got money lines, run lines, over-unders, futures. They got it all, and DraftKings does a hell of a job with it. So we're obviously proud DK partners. I mean, heck, I saw you betting the lacrosse title game on there. I mean, DraftKings got everything, man. They do such a good job.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
man.
Ben.
Well, I want to say thanks for coming on. Do you have anything? You have anything you want to leave us? So follow Audio Crack. You're killing the health thing. Man, I hope I get to see you out west. I mean, is there a shot?
I don't know. Also, I don't know if this trip is actually going to happen. We may.
Okay.
I'm trying. It's definitely going to happen. I don't know. Unless anyone tells me not to do it, I'm going to do it. But we have a very interesting guest coming up on Tuesday, maybe Monday evening. It'll launch on Audio Crack. He's an ex-NFL player, and he's got some very interesting takes. So just little hint, like he had bleach blonde mullet. So it's going to be a fun time.
Hell yeah. And hey, of those 3 futures bet, Billy, go NC State the heaviest. I like that, like 2 or 3 units. That's the one. That like the other ones are smaller. That NC State one's the one I'm really going to bat on. Perfect.
Well, I'll be following. I'm invested now, so I'm pumped.
Heck yeah. See, Billy football firing on DraftKings, growing the game of college baseball.
Yeah,
I mean, look what we're doing here.
I'm now going to be watching.
Yeah, now you got a rooting interest. So thanks for coming on, Billy. Always appreciate catching up with you. Certainly miss having you around day to day.
We got to get some dinner sometime.
We will, man.
We had the best dinner.
Make it to Chicago. All right. Thanks to Billy Football for joining us here on Wake Up Mintzy. Kind of because of this birthday deal, I bringing in another guest who is a lifelong friend of mine and sports radio host in North Louisiana. Sean Fox is about to join us. Sean and me go back over 30 years. He actually, sharing a story about him real quick before he comes on. I wouldn't be in this profession without Sean. When I got done with college in 2015, he does sports radio in Monroe and Ruston, North Louisiana. And he approached me about possibly taking a job in Shreveport, Louisiana to do sports radio. And I was like, well, I don't have any experience. He's like, look, this company kind of wants me to come over there. I've got a wife and a kid. I'm committed to Monroe Rustin, so I'm going to put you up for this job. And went and interviewed for it and got it. And that's how I got into this profession. It's all because of Sean. So I thought it'd be fun. His birthday was yesterday. We've been friends over 30 years. So I thought, what better occasion to let my lifelong friend Sean Fox make his Wake Up Mintzy and Barstool debut than right now. Sean, do we have you here?
Mintzy, what's up, pal? Happy birthday.
Thank you, man. Welcome. This is fun for me, and I know fun for you. Your Barstool Sports debut. You can follow Sean on Twitter at Fox4 Sports Talk. Has been doing a hell of a job in North Louisiana sports radio for over 20 years now. Your birthday was yesterday. Yeah. I hope you had a good one.
Thanks, pal. Listen, I guess I should apologize. I guess, I got you into this world, so for the Stoolies, I'm usually in the chat talking shit about you 2 minutes because this is way overdue. I guess I should start by saying, yes, I brought Ben Mintz in, so I apologize, everybody. That's on me.
And, the thing that's fun about Sean, too, I remember you'd spend summers in Monroe when we were like 10, 11 years old, and we literally were talking like we want to have sports shows one day. That was literally – we were talking about that when we were 10 or 11 years old. And, lo and behold, how long have you had – you've been doing it, 20 years now?
Yeah. Ben, I actually started when I was 21. I was at Louisiana Tech. And I had grown up listening to sports talk radio in New Orleans. You remember the great Buddy Diliberto. And that's when the Saints were really, really fucking terrible. And I would just listen to the Saints post-game shows. And, this was back in the days when the NFL was blacked out in your area. And the Saints were so bad that they rarely sold out the Superdome. So I had to listen to sports talk. I had to listen to the radio to catch the Saints games. And in my mind, I had to envision how it was going. And I kind of had a love affair with radio with that. And anyway, long story short, at 21, I walked into a bar at a coach's show for Louisiana Tech basketball at the time. And I was talking to one of the radio guys, and I had a couple to drink. And I was like, listen, I've always wanted to do sports talk radio. And he's like, do you have any experience? I said, no, but I know I can do it. And if you don't hire me, somebody else would. Which, again, I was a drunk 21-year-old. But lo and behold, that led to one day a week for an hour to, as soon as I was graduating, like, hey, do you want to stick around and do this? I was like, absolutely. To every day for an hour to now every day for 3 hours, and during football season, a bunch of stuff. So, I've been at it for now over 20 years at the same station I started with, and I've watched it grow. And yes, we are up in a little portion of the country, North Louisiana, but we are actually the largest all sports talk station in the entire state of Louisiana. And I'm proud of what we've built, and some of the things we've had some people make it. And listen, you are a great success story. But let me say this about Mintzy, everybody, because I keep up with the comments about you on social media, Mintzy. Folks, there's nothing fake about Mintz. What you see is literally what you get. This son of a bitch has been the same way since we were 10 years old. This is just who you are, unauthentic. This is Mintzy. It's not a gimmick. This is really him.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, we go all the way back, and it's fun for me at Barstool because I just come in here and I get to just be myself for a living, and I don't know how you could really ever ask for any more than that.
So yes. So the wife today, the birthday love's already over. She says, and you get this a lot. She goes, "What does Ben actually do?" And I said, "He gets paid to be Ben." And she just shook her head. And then her second thing was, "Why are they talking to you?" And I said, "I don't know, but I'm not going to say no." So I appreciate it. I'm not no love in my house. She goes, "Why do you want to talk to you?" I said, I don't know, but I'm glad that you did.
Oh, man, it's full circle. Like I said, one of the biggest, most formative experiences of my life is when you and I were leaving our buddy's grandfather's funeral, and you hit me with the Shreveport thing. And, that ended up being 4 years there, and then got me to ESPN Baton Rouge and got me here. That was a big arc of my life. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life at that point, too. I just finished Ole Miss. Was kind of half-assed playing poker, didn't want to, you don't want to be like the townie in Oxford, not do anything.
I get it.
31 years old, and you brought that opportunity to me, and that changed the course of my entire life. Well, Sean, I know a big day for you too because Louisiana's got 6 teams in the NCAA tournament. You're obviously very close to Louisiana Tech alum. They're the number 2 seed up in Fayetteville, Arkansas, who's the number 5 national seed. Tech playing Kansas State today. But, the Louisiana's so represented. LSU, the 2 seed, North Carolina, UL Lafayette, 2 seed at Texas A&M. But, Grambling gets snuck into that regional. Nichols and Tulane Nichols won the Southland. Tulane won American Athletic. They're both up in Corvallis, Oregon. So, I know college baseball is a little bit regional, but, man, Louisiana doing it big.
Well, listen, yeah, Mintzy, like everybody knows in the South we love football, and it is kind of our flag bearer. But I think top to bottom, college baseball is our best sport. And I think it's well represented that Louisiana, as you mentioned, 6 teams have made it to the NCAA tournament. And 2, like in my direct, where I do my show, 2 teams in little old Lincoln Parish, separated by 3 miles, in Grambling and Louisiana Tech, both made it to the NCAA tournament. And listen, it has been amazing to see the growth of this game. And I know that was your big thing when you first got to Barstool, #grow the game. And man, since you've gotten there and you've played a part of it, and there's been others, I'm not going to give you all the credit.
No,
it's been nice to see it getting more attention. And look, in our state, there's a lot of things that are wrong that we don't have to be proud of. It's very flawed now more than ever, but we're incredibly proud that we've got 6 teams in our little state playing in the postseason. Now, realistically, Ben, we're proud of it. How many teams have a chance to get out of it? Maybe LSU. I would love to see Louisiana Tech. I think they've got a really good baseball team this year with Lane Burroughs. In fact, Ben, here's a stat for you. 3 of the last 4 years, they are one of 5 schools to win 42-plus games. I think the other ones are Tennessee, Texas,
and Arkansas,
and East Carolina.
Wow.
So they've been playing really good baseball. The next part is for Louisiana Tech to take that next step and get out of a regional to a super regional. But they've become one of the best non-Power 5 baseball programs in the country.
And Tech, compared to on DraftKings, they're minus 175 today against Kansas State. So, I mean, that's a pretty big favorite. If they do win, though, it's going to be awful tough at Arkansas. Arkansas's got Hagen Smith.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When does Hagen Smith pitch? Because he's about as close to Paul Skeens as we saw this year.
Yeah, I know. He would pitch
almost an automatic win.
Yeah, he would pitch. That's the problem with Tech is if they win today, they're running smack into him tomorrow. But, yeah, and then LSU, we mentioned the LSU thing, how hot they were. You know, they won 10 of the last 15 SEC games, and they made the huge run in Hoover to the championship. That's one of the most fascinating regionals is the collision course with them and the ACC champion North Carolina, who's the number 4 seed, and I believe they only their home record was crazy. They lost
and Ben, before they get to I think they're 34 or 35-2 at home this year up in Chapel Hill. But look, LSU's got their work cut out for them with Wofford too. I actually had a chance to talk to their head baseball coach on my radio show the other day, JJ Edwards, and look. I know it's not the same level of competition that LSU sees in the SEC, but I think Wofford is 9th in stolen bases, 2nd in runs scored, and then 3rd in batting average and on base percentage in all of college baseball. So they're a really good offensive team. They've got one ace in Zach Cowan. I would assume he's going to get the start today for Wofford. But LSU is hot. It's never been a lack of talent. LSU lost the number 1 and 2 picks in the draft last year in Skeens and Dylan Cruz, and obviously that hurt early. But they also lost some leadership off that team in a Beloso and a Dugas, and I think they finally have found their stride at the right time. It's never easy when you have to go play outside of Alex Box Stadium. But look, I think LSU, it's never been a lack of talent. It's all come together, and I don't think anybody would be shocked if they got out of this regional. And depending on what happens in Tucson, maybe they do host a super regional.
Yeah, it's matched up with Jay Johnson. LSU's coach came from Arizona to LSU, and they're matched up in a potential super. But, I'm looking at Dallas Baptist coming out of that Arizona regional, and I know you're very familiar with them being a Louisiana Tech guy.
They just played in the Conference USA tournament in Ruston, and they're a baseball pro. Again, they're kind of like, I don't want to say in a way like Gonzaga in basketball, where they might, quote, be a mid-major, but they've kind of, despite conference, have become a baseball program where even if they're on the bubble, they've gotten the benefit of the doubt because they are a really good baseball program, and eventually they're going to get to Omaha. It's kind of shocking they haven't gotten there yet.
No, they lost in the 3rd game of a super regional 2 years ago to Virginia. Well, Sean, one of the things that's been fun following your show through the years, you're a big pro wrestling fan. You've actually always kind of taken the entertainment route. You talk a lot of sports, but you also cross over into entertainment and stuff, and obviously that's what Barstool does. Like, kind of in a weird way, obviously it's very different, but it's also kind of similar in that you've always seen value in that.
Ben, I've done this for 20-plus years, and we're a call-in, and now the way society is text-driven show. We get more interaction on our show when we talk about non-sports things. And it's been like that for years. It's the craziest thing. And we do a segment a couple times a week called Beers, Bets, and Body Slams. where I've got a great friend who works for a distributor up here, and he recommends a beer, a bet of the day, and then we talk about what's going on in the world of wrestling. It's about a 5 or 10 minute segment, but it's a lot of fun. But also the Friday, it just happened to coincide every year with the Final Four. WrestleMania for years has been that same weekend, and we call it WrestleMania Friday. And for our show's 3 hours, for an hour and a half, the last hour and a half of the show, we just talk pro wrestling, the past, whatever going on right now. And I'm telling you, it floods our text line every single year.
No, I believe it, man. WrestleMania, obviously.
Wrestling's hot right now again. It's been awesome to watch.
Yeah, Brandon Walker and Robbie Fox, both big
They do
fans.
a great job.
Big fans up here. Walker went through WrestleMania. I know.
Look, and I'll say that, Ben, I went to WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans. I've gone to a lot of different sporting events, big time things. It is definitely the coolest thing I've been to in person. It's like a laser show, a rock concert, an opera, and a football game all rolled into one. It was a lot of fun.
I'm gonna have to go one year with you because I've been to wrestling pay-per-views, but I've never been to WrestleMania. And
different animal.
Yeah, that's still on my bucket list. And I heard this year's was like literally the main event was like one of the greatest of all time.
It was a hell of again, wrestling is as hot as it's been since the Attitude Era.
Damn. Well, I guess AEW's helped a lot because it costs competition.
Yeah, look, that's when WWE was at its best, when they had competition, in WCW and Nitro back in the day. And look, it's easy to rest on your laurels when you don't have any competition. And AEW, listen, it's kind of fallen off a little bit the last couple of years, but it's still giving wrestlers an opportunity, gives people jobs. And when you have competition, it's going to push you. And AEW existing, I think, has made WWE better.
Hell yeah. Well, competition's always good, man. Rising tide raises all boats in the industry. I guess is a way to put it. Well, Sean, what you're obviously covering the tournament. You're excited about football season. You're a huge Saints LSU guy as well. Anything big for summer?
Well, look, it's dad life, Mintzy. I joke all the time with people because everybody knows our relationship. Said me and Ben live very different lives. It's toting my kid to cheer camp through this summer. I'm sure we'll take our annual trip to the Florida Gulf Coast. And then, look, it's football season's under 100 days. And, look, that's what drives the engine is football. And obviously the Saints are in a weird place right now where it's almost like football purgatory. They're not going to be terrible, but I don't think they're going to be very good. They'll be in the mix to win the NFC South. I guess at this point, that's all you can ask for. And, look, if LSU can have any kind of defense, and I think with Blake Baker's addition, that could have just be a decent defense. You don't have to be a top 10, top 20. Like if LSU has a top 50 defense with I think how good that offense could be, they should compete for a college football playoff berth this year. If that defense has a pulse this year, unfortunately they didn't last season.
Yeah, I think they'll improve with Blake Baker, the new defensive coordinator, but I don't know. They're going to go from like 110 to 50th or 60th.
Well, Blake Baker, the DC, and Joe Sloan, the OC, will eventually be head coaches. Yeah. Sooner rather than later. No,
good friend Joe Sloan, been on Wake Up Mintzy. He actually was on here from the draft in Detroit when Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas all went first round, and he coached all of them.
He's a stud.
Yeah, great dude. Good friend of the program, good friend of yours and mine. Well, Sean, I just want to say thanks, man. Overdue having you on Wake Up Mintzy. Like I said, I share this all the time. I mean, I would not be in this industry without you helping me get that job at Shreveport and Bossier.
Look, Mintzy, I'm not a charity. Like I thought you'd be entertaining. You were, and I don't know really what you do, but you do it well because you are authentic Mintz. And look, people either love it or hate it, but most of us here love it, man. And we're proud of you. I'm still going to talk shit about you on the chat, but I am proud of you.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks. Well, happy birthday to you yesterday. It's fun because we kind of share them every year. And thanks for joining us. Shout out Dude Wipes as always. Cleaning up all our messes, amazing product, find them all over the country. And then I'm about to go get some Stella Blue cold brew after this because it's summertime and nothing's better than the Stella Blue cold brew. Announced for next week, we're going to be Tuesday through Friday again, but Wake Up Mintzy will be starting. We're backing up to 9 a.m., mostly sports backing up from 9 to 10 a.m. So we're going to be 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern moving forward. And then shout out to Tyler Moody holding the fort down from Shreveport, and shout out to Stefan from production up here and our production guys that make everything happen behind the scenes. They're the unsung heroes of Barstool. Like I said, today, check out Squeeze Play on ESPN. It's the red zone of college baseball. Fire up some DraftKings, make some bets on the NCAA baseball tournament, and enjoy the most underrated sports weekend of the year. Stoolies, see you out at Pup Punk tonight at Joe's on Weed. And also, Crawfish Bowl, Barstool Bar, 2 to 5. Come join me and Megan. Let's eat some crawfish tomorrow. Let's have ourselves a hell of a weekend, boys. It's going to be a great summer.